Thank you for joining me for this introduction to JoVE. My name is Sarah Davidson Squibb. I'm a librarian here at the UC Merced Library. I'm going to be highlighting the content of JoVE, how you might find information in it, and use its functionality. JoVE stands for the Journal of Visualized Experiments, and it really has two major components. One of those is the video journal, which is a peer-reviewed journal. And the second piece is science education materials. So I'm going to be speaking about both of these sections. And I'm going to start off though with the video journal section. When you hover over the blue tab that says video journal, this shows you the content areas that are available in the series. And so we see things like behavior biology, engineering, and immunology. I'm going to go ahead and click on engineering to give you a sense of the landing page. This is where we'll see the number of video articles associated with that series subject. They default to showing you the most recent video articles added, but you can change that to see the most viewed articles first. Each article will have a title, the researchers associated with it, and also their organizations or educational institutions that they are at. And over here we see the tag again that says they are in the engineering section. I'm going to click on the study of a dot patterning process so we can see what the page looks like where we have the actual video article. Again, this is tagged as engineering, and this blue dot associates that it is part of the video journal. It has been viewed 330 times, and you have some quick links to citing it or sharing the video. The video you can start from the beginning here, but you'll also notice at the side that there are chapters available, and these chapters refer to the actual video. If I click on experimental design, this will jump to 226 in the video, and you can start running the video from that section.
Begin by installing a stage control program on the control PC to...
The video journal was really intended to help scientists with reproducibility, so having this video component is important. It's not the only component. If you scroll beneath the video, you will get a summary, the citation again, abstract, introduction, and it moves into the protocol. This information is also accessible by using the black navigation horizontal bar across the top, where you can also jump to parts of the accompanying text protocol. So here is the results, discussion, materials. The materials always have a PDF download of the list they're using. References, and this download section will include the materials list again, and also a PDF of all of that content that is found beneath the video. And you can take this content and download the PDF. So overall, that is the pattern that you're going to see for these video articles. This is also telling us that we have access to the University of California, Merced. Occasionally you will see content that's also open access, so some things are more freely available than others. So this is an example of just browsing to some of the video journal content. I'm now going to move into searching the JoVE content using the search box at the top of the page. And I'm going to search for sleep and circadian rhythm and hit the search button or hit enter. When we get to this page, we have 28 video articles for sleep and circadian rhythm. This search will bring up items from both the video journal, which we've just been in, you'll see all of those, but also from science education if there are any. And actually, if we kind of look over to the right, we'll see that this basic mouse care item is from Biology 2, which is tagged with this green dot from science education. I'm actually going to check the science education items and uncheck them just to remove them. And we didn't have very many science education ones coming up in the video articles. At this point, you can choose to add other search terms. You might want to narrow by a publication date. If you select this, you could say, I want to see from January 2015 forward, and this will narrow our results down again. These filters that we've been adding are also here at the upper right corner, and I can choose to also remove any of these. So I could choose to remove the date filter that we just put on. For each of these items, again, we see the title, the researchers, and the universities that they come from. You can filter by an institution. I'm going to type in Rutgers University, which I see listed in that first one. So it brings that one up again, and also there was another one tagged with Rutgers University. There is some content in here from researchers at UC Merced, so I'm just going to X out all of these items in the upper right and type in University of California, Merced. That's how we're tagged in here. And if we search for that, we are getting 10 video articles that have been published by researchers who are or who were at University of California, Merced. And again, this is just showing the subject areas that they were published in that video journal. So that's just a little bit about your search options overall. So I'm now going to go over to the science education portion of JoVE, and I'm going to do this in kind of 3 sections. You'll notice across the top that they have a couple things that start with the word core, a couple that start with lab manual, and then the rest are also these subject areas from basic biology, engineering again, and clinical skills psychology. I am going to click on the environmental sciences one. We're just browsing into the science education collection. So here we have environmental sciences and different subcategories, including environmental microbiology and earth science. I'm going to select earth science. This is going to give us what content is again available with some title information, maybe a little bit of a short summary. And I can select an item, igneous volcanic rock in this case. And again, I will see video content available to me. I can again jump to different parts of the video that I want to look at. We can also embed this video. So if I wanted to take this video and embed it into a page on my CAT courses site for my students, I could copy that embed code and put it into a CAT course page. And I could also choose to say, well, I want them to also see the chapters associated with this video, and this previews for you on the right what you would see. And in that case, I would then recapture the embed code to also see the chapters. So going back to where we have the video, if we also scroll down, there's going to be associated text and often additional images or pictures associated with this content that can also be viewed. The other major piece that you're going to see with these science education videos is the ability to create a test. So at here, I'm going to click Create Test. Because I was already at Earth Science, it selected Earth Science at that point. I'm going to select igneous volcanic rock and just put in here a quiz. It will populate it with questions for you. So we have these 5 questions. You can choose to turn a question on or off, depending on whether or not you want to use it. You can also choose to add a question, and this will pop up into the second column. And of course, you would enter your text, any answers or incorrect answers. You can browse and add a file, so perhaps you want an illustration or an image to go with it. At this point, I'm going to toggle this so it says don't use, because if I don't fill it in, it won't let me proceed. I am going to save and review test. And on this page, I'm going to save and approve. And at this point, your test is saved in the system, whether or not you have distributed it yet. But once you click that, you get to a page where you can populate it with the email addresses of the students in your class and use a comma to separate students' addresses. Once that's done and you click Update List, this will give you the class list that will receive the quiz. I'm going to add a message and set a deadline. With the deadline, students will be able to see what they got on the quiz, so perhaps they got 3 out of 4. They will not be able to see the actual correct answers or which ones were the correct answers until the deadline has passed. I'm going to go ahead and click Send Test. This is confirming that it's going to one participant. And it's taking me back to my test landing page, which at the top is really just the JoVE address /tests. This is showing me the tests that I have made, unfinished tests, so anything that I maybe got through those first 2 screens, but I didn't create an email list. And taken tests are things that you personally have taken. So this is where a student would come and see their landing page and that they've taken a test. Students will need to have a JoVE account in order to take the quizzes, even though these emails are branded with JoVE and go to their email address. They will need that profile so that you know that they've taken the quiz. When they go to the quiz, it will show the video embedded on an HTML page with the quiz questions beneath it. For my tests, for this one, I can also see results. So this is a little bit strange because I sent this to myself. I didn't watch the video and I got 2 out of 5, but this is the type of data that you would see for your own students if they take the test. So a little bit more about accounts here. I am currently signed into an account and I'm actually going to sign out for a moment. If you don't have an account for JoVE, you'll get to the JoVE page and you'll notice that you can make an account by clicking here. You can also create an account by going to Login and selecting the sign up option. It's a pretty quick sign up process. You would use your UC Merced email address. It's going to ask you if you're a faculty member, etc. I'm going to sign back in. Again, you do need to have an account to create tests or to take tests. And I'm going to go back to S, which is up in the corner. And if I go to Profile, this is taking me to basically a dashboard or a landing page for me. As a faculty member, you would see actually your tests here and also your favorites here. Currently, I'm affiliated as a librarian, so I'm seeing a few different things on this profile page than what you would normally see. I am going to head back now to the other 2 pieces I want to show with science education. And I'm going to go into one of the lab manuals, and I'm selecting Lab Manual Biology. Lab manuals have, again, different areas that we can look at where students may need to learn a concept. If I select Energy Dynamics, I am going to see a video which explains the concept.
The first law of thermodynamics, energy cannot be created.
Transcripts of those videos, again, are located at the right. And beneath the video, you have additional information about the concept. So this is not a repeat of the transcript. This is something else for students. Then to the left of the Concepts tab is an Instructor Prep tab. This is a tab where there is information about learning objectives for a lab that students could undertake to help understand this material. We also have a list of materials, lab prep that needs to happen, etc. And this is also accompanied with a short video.
To obtain the percent biomass of a representative cabbage before the experiment,
and then over to the student protocol, it is also going to have a video that students can watch.
In this lab, you will grow caterpillars in conditions with and without food.
And then beneath that, there's also information on procedures for them and results. So for instance, what kind of data they need to collect and report out on. So that's what you will get with both the lab manual for biology, lab manual for chemistry. It definitely is intended to be supporting undergraduates in the lab and helping instructors also be able to prepare for those lab experiments. And then the third piece I want to go over to are these core sections. So there is core biology and core social psychology. I'm going to click core social psychology. The core materials are intended to basically be texts. In this, they're ordered by chapters, and I'm going to click on attitudes and persuasion, which takes me to videos that pertain to the key concepts. And I can click on something like cognitive dissonance. And I won't go ahead and play that, but you'll notice you don't have those 3 tabs across the top because it's not intended for sort of a lab prep. It does give you a table of contents, just the overall chapter. You still get transcripts, and you still get additional information about this concept written out. And then back to this page with the key terms and concepts also has a scientists and action tab. There tends not to be as much content here, but there is additional information showing how researchers may have also been approaching these concepts. This is actually taking me back to social psychology content, but from this area of science education, because now we're back to the ability to create a test from this. So they're kind of connecting some of the other science education material from the core material. So overall, that's a little bit about Jov content, a little bit about navigating and searching for it, and about some of its functionality and getting back into the system. I'd like to end by just kind of highlighting a couple other things that might be useful to know as you start using Jov or thinking about using it. First of all, I just initially showed you Jov, and you can Google it and get to the Jov website. You can also get to Jov by going to the library's databases tab and searching for Jov. This will also give you links to different pieces of the Jov site. So that's another possibility. We did some searching in Jov, and Jov is also indexed in some databases, including PubMed. If you search in PubMed for Jov sleep, let's do the circadian rhythm again. And the new PubMed does not need the and Boolean operators. When you search for this, it will bring up this Journal of Visualized Experiments, and you can click on an item, and then it will direct you back into watching the video at Jov. And this is going to be content from the video journal. And then something that may be useful as a resource to you, at the library, we've created a guide that gives a lot of the information that this video does about Jov. It's under our subject and course guides or our research guides. And when you click on this, you will get to a page to search for Jov, and this is going to take you to the guide with different tabs about just what is Jov, more information on this series, including the information I showed about the tests with some instructions. We also have contact information, so you're welcome to contact us at the library. We also have a contact at Jov as well. So thank you very much for joining me for this mini session and introduction to Jov. Please feel free to be in contact with me if you have any additional questions. My name is Sarah Davidson Squibb, and I'm at sdavidson2@ucmerced.edu. Thanks again, and bye.